Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the very first episode of Nothing Off Limits. I'm your host, Raafay, and today I'm joined by my brother and my dear friend, Mr. Samuel Trusler.
Hey, my friend. Good to be here.
Good to see you. Great to have you here.
It's good to be here.
So, as you know, this has been upcoming for a long time.
Yeah, Mr. Abdur Raafay, King of Kings Ozymandias, has been wanting to do this for about how many millennia now? It's like five?
Yeah,
5 or 6.
About 6, yeah.
Yeah, coming up to 7.
So
But we're here, finally.
we are here, and we're both actually free from the shackles of university. Hence, we've actually got the time, and now we have the studio to actually bring to you Nothing Off Limits.
Yeah, we'll work with the setup a little bit, but I think this looks good. We've got a camera over there. Raf should have a camera over there.
I have a camera, but
And we have the main camera over there. Nice one.
so we've got.
So we're professionals out here. We're professionals. We'll get into become super professionals. But
We've got a good setup going here,
yeah,
and it's the most important thing. Maybe a cigar or two is missing. We should really have a Cohiba box,
yeah.
a little box of Cohiba, but.
Well, we've got to work for it. So.
With enough of your support, guys, eventually we'll be there.
Yeah, donate. Link in the description. We need cigars. So yeah, link in the description.
Cohiba, if you're out there and you want to sponsor Nothing Off Limits, by all means.
Yeah.
All you've got to do is contact nothingofflimits@unitive.com. On that note, let's move on to you, Samuel. Finally, free from the shackles of university. Inshallah, all being well, first class graduate in aeronautical engineering or aerospace engineering.
I don't know about first class, but inshallah, graduate from the University of Manchester, aerospace. We're gonna see how I do, but yeah, feels good to be free, fully free. How was the feeling for you? It's been around a week since I had my last exam, but you more recently. It's Sunday now. Raf finished on Wednesday. So how has it been for you?
I'll be honest, it's a bittersweet feeling. You're in that exam and you know that this might be the last time, or you're hoping this is the last time you'll ever have to sit an exam, and you leave, and it's kind of like damn.
Yeah.
3 years gone, finished.
And I can't lie, the feeling is just sweet. No bitterness there.
No, because when you think about it, you've been here for 3 years, and that's just flown, bro. That's flown. And it's like all of that energy and effort you put in for 3 years, that's it. It's all dictated by those exams you've just sat, and that's good. That's what's going to change your life.
Yeah.
That's why it's bittersweet. And it also means that that's the end of something that, you know what? As much as we hated uni, the life, like, I'll be honest, gonna have to move back, gonna have to do something else in life, I think. Yeah, you've gone from unemployed to student. No, so
other way around, vice versa.
The other way around, going from student to unemployed. Well, not in our case anyway, but
I mean, yeah.
Not in our case, I mean.
We're both self-employed, due to be self-made millionaires. So when we are self-made millionaires and you lot will come back to watch the first ever stream, because we'll probably be having hundreds of episodes before you lot actually care about this. But yeah, it'll be an interesting time to look back on.
A lot of people have now gone from student to unemployed.
And,
you know, just in general, if we have a look at the fact that the UK is currently going through cost of living crisis.
Yeah.
We're also going through a job crisis for students. Put into perspective, there's so many people graduating, applying for grad jobs, and there's just not enough jobs for people.
Yeah. It's a bit of a fucked up situation right now. But there's always, where there's the demise of something, there's always an opportunity, right? So we're gonna see what we can do to live our best lives and give our families what we've always wanted to do. So should we take it back all the way to, should we move past uni, or do you want to reminisce a little bit?
I think we can take it back just a little bit.
Yeah.
So if we take it back to the first time we met each other.
Before we take it back, we have to cover up a bit of information because some information is classified and it can't get out into
Public domain.
public domain. So let's begin with how did we actually meet? Like, where did I first see you?
I think the first time we met was actually on my 19th birthday. I think the best part about it is I don't even remember that you came.
Yeah, for context, both of us are 21 now, going on 22. So we're both October 2002. And yeah, so the first time I met Rafe was at his 19th birthday. So yeah, let's run through that.
I don't think we actually got to speak properly until afterwards. So you came with one of our mutual friends.
Yeah.
And I think I remember briefly seeing you and speaking to you. But my 19th birthday, for context, was probably the most active Unsworth Park link up back in the day. Simply because we were still at uni during the times of COVID.
Yeah.
And there wasn't really much going on. But I made sure, in Rafe fashion, that I have the most active thing going on.
So when did we actually talk? Because it wasn't that night, but
I think it was another time with our mutual friend, who we're not going to name.
Who we're not going to name. We're going to name him. Should we give him a cover-up name? We're going to name him
Alex.
We're going to name him Christopher.
Yeah, okay. Christopher.
That really does not reflect his ethnicity at all. But
for all you know, Christopher could be black, Chinese, white, African, Caribbean, any of the above.
Yeah, so don't be fooled by the name Christopher. But yeah, Christopher was doing bits that night. I can't lie. I can't really remember though.
I'll be honest, it feels like it was so long ago.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So Christopher introduced us. He came to my birthday with Christopher, and then afterwards we, eventually did meet, started speaking. Yeah. I think you were much quieter back then. I think when I met you, you were definitely a more introverted person. You were definitely not out there.
Still am an introvert. We can put on a few. You're definitely more extroverted than me though. And I feel like you're definitely a true extrovert. I'm a true introvert, but I have extroverted moments and you have introverted moments. But
I think there's a word for it. It's called like multivert or something. That could be wrong.
I think there's it's a spectrum, right? Like you can be a true extrovert or a true introvert.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the scale.
Somewhere along the spectrum, yeah. But I feel like if we compare ourselves back then to now, I'd say we're both completely different people.
Yeah, completely different people. So, yeah, second year is we were living together, which was we were living with our friend Christopher and two others who we'll just name them X and Y. We'll name them X and Y. We were living with X, Y, and Christopher. Those were our housemates in second year.
Yeah.
But how was the house for you? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What was the area like compared to first year? Compared to this?
So for first year, I think we were really lucky to have lived in Unsworth Park, which was back then the nicest accommodation. And, it was reasonably priced back then.
Yeah.
I was a bit laugh at the fact that it cost over £200 per week. Like Manchester, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Cost of living, man.
Cost of living is insane. But we genuinely lived in the trap.
Back then. Well, yeah, second year. But back then, first year, when I went Sainsbury's, I was buying I wasn't paying £6.70 for butter and milk,
But Sainsbury's Fallowfield was definitely one of the most overpriced places to shop.
Yeah.
And I remember just seeing people carrying bags and bags because it's so inconveniently placed as well.
Did you shop in Lidl in second year? No. You didn't?
Lidl, the one that used to be near our house.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Bro, I was doing Lidl every single... Thing is, I wasn't would you say your diet was good in second year?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, my diet was good in second year.
I feel like in first year, I got to grips with cooking for myself and looking after myself. Second year, we were getting there, but third year is when I was fully refined in understanding what the human body needs. Do you get what I mean?
I think first year everyone was going through that development phase, through a phase where not everyone's really sure what's going on. So I think in first year, I wouldn't really describe my diet as anything good. I remember significant moments where me and Christopher would be buying 10 boxes of donuts. Sorry, a box of 10 donuts and just eating them on a casual night. We'd be running up chai places with, sweet tea, donuts, milk cake, you name it.
Yeah.
But I think my metabolism was quite fast back then because it didn't really seem to affect me.
Yeah.
Moving into second year, I started realizing that damn, like I've been eating absolute rubbish,
Yeah.
like every student does. But things were still cheap back then. Compare that box of donuts then to now, you get 10 donuts, or 12 donuts, I think, for about £8. Now it's over £1 a donut.
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable. Definitely noticeable.
So. But in second year, I was quite good with diet. I think second year was a good mental shift in my life where I went from being that normal uni student to realizing that there's more to life than just uni, and health is also extremely important. So I was, focusing on carnivore diet, I think, for a good 3 months. Did carnivore, felt better, recovered. Because obviously, for context, during first year, I was quite unwell. Maybe you remember, I was quite ill during second year as well. So I thought carnivore diet, back to basics, heal the body. Started off gym. In that sense, it was a good year.
Yeah.
Difficult to maintain given the fact that we don't really earn money.
Yeah.
Or didn't earn money.
Yeah, we didn't have an income then. But I think I was a bit of the opposite, in second year. I think I was, if anything, going gym and doing exercise a bit too much and not eating enough. So you have to strike the balance, like, which is nice because, like, for me, I was right now, I we can say our weight online, but I weigh around like 82 kilos now. We want to make it like 92 kilos, but like, so we're actually properly big and strong. But back in second year, I was weighing like 72 kilos, which is like quite, yeah, it's quite low, it's quite light. So like, I wasn't, I was eating okay, but I definitely wasn't eating near enough like what I should be eating, especially if you are lifting, weight. You should be eating like back on this good, like it's not good for the body to just, lift heavy weight and not even like it's not good to just lift weight and not eat food back on. You get what I
At
mean?
the same time, it's not good to eat too much and be lifting at the same time. I think.
Yeah, you have to strike a balance.
How difficult is it to strike the balance as a student?
It's pretty difficult, I can't lie. Looking after yourself is not easy. It's not an easy task. But once you get in like a routine, I feel like you build a bit of momentum with like what you eat and like what you're actually ingesting, especially how you feel after you eat is a big thing. But I think you learn these things as time goes on.
I think that it's weird to ask you this question because for context for the audience, Samuel is somebody who doesn't tend to enjoy food. If I'm not wrong.
Food is like now is a bit different, but like I always see food as like fuel. Like I don't really engage in like really enjoying my meals. I don't know. I'm like now it's a bit different. Like I do enjoy my food. I do like eating. But back in second year, I was just like, I've got to eat this to just like, break even with calories and shit. So it was more like fuel to me. It wasn't like I'm enjoying this or like indulging in. I never indulged in like different types of food, which sounds sad, but like, yeah, it was never me. I just ate food to ward off hunger.
On the opposite spectrum, you've obviously got people who eat food for the sake of eating food, but also end up enjoying it. You've got people that just do takeaways, people that, just do not care about what they eat. I don't know where I was trying to lead this part.
I think I could think of someone.
I too can think of somebody.
Good old friend Christopher. Shout out to Christopher.
Big shout out to Christopher. If you're watching this.
Yeah, we love you. Both of us love you so much.
But bro, go to the gym.
Yeah, fam. Bulking. Just bulking without gym. You're actually funny, Chris. You're actually funny. but it's fine.
Oh God.
We love you still.
Bulking without a gym.
Just bulking.
I think Samuel needs a little bit of that in his life, to be fair.
What, bulking?
Bulking. That's how he's gonna get to that 92 kilos. Bulking, my friends, without any sort of physical activity.
Yeah. Nah, we love physical activity. So how was let's go into that. When did you start gym? Like when did you start enjoying it? Maybe you like began it, didn't
So I think I started gym when I was about 17.
yeah.
And I was going to the gym before that, but I didn't really get into weightlifting or anything like that. About
Yeah.
17, I made a friend who also went on to become a personal trainer. And I had the opportunity to sort of learn the gym with him.
Yeah.
Back then, I wasn't really too bothered. Like I'd go to the gym for the sake of, working out.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think when I came to uni, I realized that you want to there needs to be something that makes you stand out from everybody else at the end of the day. And I'm not just talking about physique, but I'm talking about physical health at the same time. Because it's all well and good to live your life and be presumed healthy, but to really be healthy is to be using the muscles in your body, is to be eating well, is to be recovering,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think when I came to uni, after a certain period of time, of course, I realized that, physical health is important and, you want to be strong, not just for yourself, but, for the future.
Yeah.
Because although a lot of people at university tend to indulge in, going out, partying, eating shit, well, you realize that catches up to you.
I think now the people's thinking have changed a bit since in first year anyway. I think people are way more active now. Like I think the gym is like everyone's going gym now. I don't know. I feel like everyone's sort of moved to this sort of health grind where like they want to go gym, they want to like do well. I don't know. I feel like
that's the problem with students though. Everyone's hopping on a trend.
yeah.
At the end of the day, going to the gym is a commitment. It's not just a trend. Just like anything else.
But I feel like more people are getting committed there. Like definitely more than in first year.
UK statistics suggest now that 1 in 4 UK adults, which we are obese. So based on that, it would be good that people end up going to the gym. I don't think gym is enough. People need to be educated on what to actually eat.
Because diet is number one. Like if you go to the gym, it doesn't mean anything if you just go back home and eat like 3 million buffalo wings.
Especially as a student. I remember the days, Samuel, where you used to buy your Goodfellas £1.39 pizzas, frozen pizzas from the local corner shop.
Was it even Goodfellas?
I'm not sure. Maybe it was some off-brand.
Bro, we can do so much better than that. Like, I don't know.
But that is the typical life of a student. Bear in mind, like people are buying genuinely processed, pure shit to eat. In a polite way. I mean, of course, we can
shout out a special somebody.
Go on.
You know who I'm thinking?
Are we thinking Christopher?
No. They recently eaten healthy, no processed food.
Who?
Good old friend Eddie, man.
Eddie.
Shout out to Eddie.
Shout out to Eddie Abu.
Yeah, no, I think what he's saying is important, especially for people like us to hear. Like students, they don't know what they're doing or how to. Like most of them, especially in first year, they don't know how to take care of themselves. So cooking is actually one of the more important skills that you need during university. I think, like, if you come to university, you need to know how to cook. Like, very important. You need to know how to cook at least like 3 dishes minimum. Like you need a breakfast and like 3 dishes to swap, like to ingest. Because
shout out to my brown girls who are living off pot noodles and my white girls who are living off shawarma and takeaway.
You said it first. But yeah, learn how to cook. Learn how to fucking take care of yourself. And yeah, that's it.
That is Samuel Trusler's life advice to you guys. Learn how to fucking cook.
Let me ask you a few questions.
Go on.
So we've talked a bit about the past. What do you want to happen in the future? What do you think the future holds for us, especially? And it's going to be very interesting because I think most of the people watching are actually watching from the future because no one gives a fuck about us right now. But when people do actually care about us, they're probably going to click back on this video and see, our origin story. So, what do you want to happen going forward after university now? And what do you think, like, the road looks like from now?
You've basically reversed the roles right now of this show,
Sure.
but I think it's a good question nonetheless. I think the main thing that after university life holds is the ability and freedom to actually work on projects and things that you haven't been able to do in the past. At the end of the day, now that you're not in education, you have the time and the ability to do bigger things, because normally we're always confined by education, we're confined by our homes, our families,
Yeah.
whether we want to be or not. There's a confinement, and right now we've broken free from those shackles. Inshallah, both graduate, and then we're completely broken from those shackles. But I think the most important thing is to just work on things. I feel like we shouldn't really mention what we're working on, but there are things that we are working on.
Yeah.
That hopefully will come to light. And obviously for me, this show, Nothing Off Limits, is one of those projects that I really hope succeeds in the future.
Yeah.
And it's just something to me that would be a personal success. Obviously, I make food reviews, short term, not very popular, but people seem to like my food reviews, and the aim is to make more content, entertain the people, be the voice of the people, kind of thing. And then all the other things that we've got working on in the background, people, it'll come to light. It will come to light. But obviously, business, I think, is something that me and you are both passionate about. Business is the future. I don't think I could ever see myself working a grad job. Maybe life changes.
Bro, I feel like it's the only way out.
Maybe we watch this back and we realize that we've done something completely different in our lives. But right now, I would say that genuinely business is a way to actually make life move forward. There's a gap in the market. At the end of the day, if you've done enough market research, there's a gap in the market for anything.
I'll be honest. I think we know exactly what we want to do with like our lives and the future. I feel like we know exactly what we want to do, and we're gonna go out and do it. And yeah, that's gonna be that. I feel like we don't. Yeah, I don't think anything is gonna like. There's some massive curveball is gonna happen later on down the line. I don't know. I feel like we know the road, we know the ending, and it's just we're at A right now, and we need to get to B. And I think we know how to get there. We just need to do it. Like, yeah.
Let's break it down a little bit more. You finished uni. You're gonna graduate. You could have chosen to do a grad job.
Yeah.
Tell me, like, why are you choosing to go into the field of business? Why are you choosing to not pursue a 9 to 5?
Yeah, so I think it is going to be something we'll have to do. So it's not. No one wants to do a 9 to 5, bro. Like, no one wants to do a fucking.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Many students aspire to have their grad jobs and
yeah,
their
some people
minimum
aspire
wage
to
paying grad jobs.
For the most part, though, no one wants to do that. No one enjoys a 9 to 5. I don't know, like, so it's nothing revolutionary, but I think we understand that like the consequences of not performing well, and yeah, it's just something that we gravitated towards, and it's I don't know. It's like I feel like it's just like our calling. It's always something we wanted to do, and we don't mind working on it like all the time. We don't want like I don't know. Me and you have never been the type of people to just like work and then look forward to the weekend and like you get what I mean? Like in the beginning, it's all gonna be about how we're gonna need an income from a job. Like we're gonna find a job and we're gonna use the income and funnel it all towards this. Because what's happened in the economy is like a complete switch. Like when our parents were coming out of uni in this sort of scenario that we're talking about, you could get a job and you could save, and then your salary was like, I don't know, maybe a seventh of like the cost of a house. But now houses have gone through the roof, so there's no point of saving money. You have to spend money. You get it and spend it because that's the only way you're ever gonna break free. I don't know, like
But all our lives, everyone says save money. The bank wants you to save money.
yeah, it's not gonna work. That's not what we do. No, that's not how we're going to succeed because we can't buy anything. Like everything is so expensive and we're quite poor. So yeah, we have to the money we do get, we're gonna need to invest it and funnel it into some building something which is gonna snowball into numbers which can actually, take care of like we can support ourselves with. So it's a very difficult time, but I think that's the plan moving forward. And yeah, that's that's the only way that I see, to be honest. Like,
And I know you studied a little bit about money, so do you want to maybe inform the viewers
what about money?
about money? Since you're saying saving is not the option, so what should people do with their money? Like you've just come out of uni, there's going to be people coming out of uni. You as a student or as an ex-student, what should people do
With their money.
with their money?
Again, well, I want to make it clear for the record that I'm not like some expert about this, but it seems like the way that our system actually works, there's like a massive funnel from it's like a bottom up funnel. Like all of the money gets like funneled back to London, the city of London, which is where all of these like the finance banking sector is. They're the winners basically, and yeah, the idea of the sort of left wing idea.
I smell too much, bro. This conversation is too enjoyable. I'm actually sitting here just enjoying listening to this guy. And I listen to this guy like every day. I could listen to this guy talk for years.
Thank you, bro. But what I was saying is, yeah, but it's definitely a different sort of time to when our parents were alive, for example. And
Our parents are still alive, bro.
sorry, my bad. When our parents were in our shoes. And yeah, I think that like it's very difficult, and it's all fucked right now. I can't lie. Everything's just fucked with like basically how it is like the to not be boring, but like when we go to the bank, for example,
Yeah.
and we want like a loan, it's not like I think most people think that like you put money into a bank and like that money is moved around and like people deposit money into a bank and then that money is loaned out to other people, and I think that's how most people think the banks actually work. um there's some people who just think your money goes in there and it just stays there, which is understandable because when we were younger, we all had a piggy bank, and we understood that like you put the coins into a piggy bank, and then when you want the money, you can smash it or undo like something and get the money. So that's how most people think the banking sector works. Not many people understand that the money is literally just typed into a computer and created from literally someone typing numbers onto a laptop into a database. That's how the money that buys the glasses and this couch and all of the shit in front of me and everything, like it's just made out of nothing. So not many people actually understand that, and that's quite a scary thought. But that's why this system is like why we're in the mess that we're in today. Like, and I don't understand like everything in and out like perfectly. But what I do understand is like it's a fucked system, and it constantly funnels money from down up to the people at the very top. So it's like a wind, and like you can say like the sort of left wing ideology is like introduce more tax brackets, tax the rich, but it doesn't matter if there's this constant velocity of moving from bottom up. Like if that's there, then there's no point of like this top down thing if it just ends up back at the top anyway. So it's a completely unfair system. It makes sort of like inequality more divided than ever. And yeah, the only thing that I can think about is to build an ecosystem within our lives that helps us. Like, we're not magicians. I can't change the whole fucking system. But what we can do is think about how we can save ourselves. So, I don't know. Do you have anything like.
I think that's a very reasonable point you make. And I want to sort of tailor that into the current UK political climate right now. I know no one's really well versed these days with what's going on in politics, but do you think that there's any hope within the upcoming general election for students, for young people, for people who haven't actually got the money? I mean, we've seen. You know what? There's actually in politics. There's a lot of, oh yeah, we're gonna cut back on tax. We're gonna increase tax. We're gonna increase interest on student loans or decrease the interest on student loans. But really, does any policy benefit us as students or as working class individuals?
Yeah, so I think that like it's a real shame because like the people in office right now, they're meant to be like the shining people of art that we can ever produce, like, and all of them are rubbish, fam. Like all of them are just fucking rubbish.
Okay.
They're all rubbish. Like there's no one good. There's no one who I want to vote for. There's no ideology or like it's just like we're voting for who's the least worst.
But there is an ideology. You see, the ideology is more extreme now. So before you'd see we have a right wing party, we have a left wing party, and a centrist party. Now we see that the right wing party shifts extremely towards the right, or the left wing party is extremely towards the left, or in the complete opposite, everyone's becoming a centre right or a centre left party. We've actually lost the ability to contain multiple political opinions in one.
Yeah.
I mean, we've created extremists, and that also goes down into media. When you have a look at channels like GB News, who have now, become a hub for reformists, so to say, people who believe in, bringing back the UK to being, I don't know, that's not even the right words, but it's like making the UK more British again.
Yeah.
But now the UK is a multicultural society. Like, are we trying to increase racism? Are we trying to do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, so I think it's a good thing that it's diverse, but there's a fine line with it, I think. There's a fine line. I do understand that like we want someone in power that is nationalist and that cares about the UK more than like other countries, for example. Like you see with other countries, there's political leaders who care about their country first and then they worry about like all these international affairs. Yeah, I think we've sort of lost that. I don't think it's a fine line. It's a fine line. I do see the benefit of having someone who is, you know, has the England's interest at heart, but also there's a fine line with it. Most of the people in this country who are like, oh yeah, England first, most of them are like, stop the boats and, fuck foreigners and like all of this shit. So it's,
Rwanda, planes to Rwanda or not? In your opinion, based on your political understanding of the issue.
I think it's some dumb shit. Like, it's just stupid. I don't know. Like, and I think that it's a shame that so much money is funneled into something which is so dumb. Like, I feel like, yeah, can that money be spent somewhere better?
I'll tell you where that money's being spent right now is on TikToks. It's a conservative versus Labour TikTok challenge. Like, money is seriously being funneled into a war online, which is supposed to encourage people to vote. However, I feel like what we've actually done is discourage young people from voting because everybody now feels like, what is the point of voting? At the end of the day, a vote is supposed to give people the right to choose their leader. But at this point, it feels like there is no leader and nobody really cares anymore. Like the care for this country has gone down simply because the incompetence of the individuals who are actually in charge.
Yeah, and it's reflected with how the state of the country, like we have crime in London is practically legal. Like
I think London is one of the only cities in the world where you can have done absolutely nothing wrong and you're still going to get mugged or killed or shot or one of the above options.
Yeah, so London's fucked, like completely. Like there's actually nothing good about London. The only relatively good thing that I will say about London is like TFL's all right. Like TFL was okay.
Nah,
Fuck
TFL.
Manchester buses with all like one door and all this bullshit. Like
Shout out to Sadiq Khan. You know what? TFL is alright. It's okay. Although, please.
Sadiq Khan, I don't know about you, bro. You haven't really done much. Like, what the fuck have you done since you've been in office? He's been in office for like 10 years or something.
I think this is his third re-election as mayor of London.
Yeah, you're fucking shit. Like, please let someone else do your job. Because
but the people of London democratically voted Sadiq Khan.
Yeah,
you must have had a choice.
Yeah, we probably did actually, but like, probably because there's no one else better. Like, London is in tatters. Like, there's no, the police, like, there's not enough of them. The crime is through the roof, and this shit like won't get solved if there's not more funding. Like, I don't know, like when I say crime is practically legal in London, I mean like if no one is like explicitly dead or like hurt in some way, if you've been mugged or stabbed and you don't die, or like you've been robbed or whatever the fuck it is, it's so low down the pecking order in the priority list that it's practically not going to get solved, like ever. Like if you get mugged in London, you have to just take it. I don't know, like there's not really, there's not really a good grip on like these sorts of crimes that are happening in London. I don't know.
So it's only going to get worse.
Well, it looks like it's not going to get any better for a long time. And yeah, we're in a stage right now where only like the top people are benefiting massively, and people like us have to clean up like everyone else's mess. But yeah, we'll see where the future heads, I guess. And
Absolutely.
it doesn't look too bright though.
It does not look bright. I mean, there are £15 steaks that are security protected at supermarkets now. That's the state of the UK economy, where food is protected by security measures, where shoplifting has practically increased to levels beyond previous expectation, to the point where people just can't afford to live. People can't afford to live. They resort to crime. People who didn't do anything wrong have become victims of crime. And essentially, society is just broken at this point. British society is probably at the lowest of low points, although it seems that it can only get lower.
It's a shame because we were once high and mighty, like
absolutely.
We once ruled the world.
We once had respect. I feel like you have a look at European countries that literally laugh at the state of Britain right now.
Yeah.
They laugh at the state of our politics. They laugh at the state of the people. Like, and even the British people are divided.
Yeah, and you see it like people are itching to leave this place. People are itching to go and live in Spain or live in Europe. Like it's just a better life. I don't know. It looks like it's just a better life than here. I don't know. Sounds a very depressing podcast. Like,
no. I think the issues that we're picking up on are important, and people listen to these and probably relate to these problems.
The way you can combat this as like on an individual level, I think, is by seeing what opportunities have arisen, because always in times of like catastrophe, there's always an opportunity. For example, with COVID, currencies were bouncing all over the place. It was like a massive unstable instability within exchange rates. Although there was distraught and panic across the whole world, there was opportunity there. Like to it when there's instability, I feel like there's opportunities
You have to
to
look for that
capitalize.
opportunity. At the end of the day, we're not thinking about finding opportunity because I feel like now, or at least in the past, we were programmed to just live life. Like you're programmed to go to school, you go to school.
Yeah,
You're gonna eat at this time. You're gonna do this. We were never actually shown to find opportunities.
yeah,
You really have to break out of a mental and physical cycle to seek opportunity.
yeah.
But then here's the thing. Once you find opportunity, what do you do with it? Because there's countless people who've identified opportunities. It's really the difficulty is actually practically doing something about it, capitalizing on those opportunities. So how do you capitalize on an opportunity?
So I think the main work is actually noticing the opportunity though. Like I'll give you another example for the conflict in Ukraine. There was a bounce in the Russian ruble, for example, or when like do you remember when NFTs came along, or
Yeah.
like all these bullshit like crypto coins that got pumped up and like people became millionaires overnight. I feel like although I feel that's such a shit way to earn money.
That is a very bad way to earn money.
Yeah.
Also because a lot of them failed. Like I'll be honest, I've myself partaken in coins
Yeah,
and these schemes that sometimes have profited,
yeah,
but other times they've completely lost. Like it is a risk, and it's a risk that you have to calculate before taking.
yeah,
Because there's people who I know have put thousands of pounds into these things and have lost.
yeah,
Then there's also people who've practically tripled, quadrupled money they've put in.
yeah. So yeah, recognizing the opportunity is like the next opportunity is the main thing, and I think the way to capitalize on it is just have a group of people. You need a group of like minds to figure out especially like if you listen to people who are like actually have expertise in whatever it is, then they can gather information on what to do, how to capitalize on these things.
But everyone's a
So,
self-proclaimed expert now. You go online, you go on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Shorts. Everyone
Yeah.
is a self-proclaimed expert.
Yeah, so it's a blessing and a curse, isn't it? We're flooded with information all of the time, which means it's good because we get access to a lot of information, but the downside of it, and it's a massive thing now, is the complete lack of attention span everyone has. No one can focus on anything right now. Like, especially with the emergence of like short form content. Short form content is literally like, I feel like it's just diminished everyone's brains to like, I don't know. It's like I think they call it popcorn brain, where like your brain is literally just bouncing between ideas, and it's like a constant dopamine fulfillment. But I feel like that's what like no one can like actually focus and concentrate on like what needs to be done anymore.
This is interesting because we've sat exams now,
Yeah,
and we've sat exams before, and we've sat GCSEs at a time where there wasn't really any short form content back then. There was social media,
yeah,
and I wouldn't really say that I think I was using my phone as much as I do now.
yeah,
And we've sat exams now, and I feel like the ability to retain information, for me, it's definitely gone down with time.
yeah,
And I feel like that could be down to short form content. Because imagine you can scroll through 10 videos and you cannot remember what a single one of those were about. It's actually turned your brain off.
yeah.
What would you say?
It's yeah, definitely it's like brain poison, isn't it?
In a
But
way, yeah?
yeah, so yeah, I've tried to stay away from it as much as I can. Um, but yeah, I think it's affecting everyone. Yeah, it's a problem, isn't it? I don't know. I don't really know what the solution is. I think
Is short form content here to stay?
yeah, for now it is. Well, definitely TikTok is like still leading in the social media. Like, it's definitely the number one platform. But I think the way to, again, opportunity. You see people are zombies, they're like scrolling through their TikToks. The way to capitalize on it is be the creator. So be the person to actually create the TikToks, because now you're profiting of views. You can monetize your stuff. Now you can make a bit of money. You can you get what I mean. So
But at the same time, that's where people are falling prey, like to these self-proclaimed experts,
Yeah.
where people have lost thousands of pounds to people who have created courses claiming to live these
Yeah.
lifestyles. Where social media, you really learn that people don't have that life that is lived up to. And now everyone feels like they have to look a certain way on social media. Like
Yeah.
if you remember, look back to Instagram and Facebook back in the day, people would post absolute shit.
Yeah.
People would post the dumbest and most stupid things.
Yeah.
But now, if you open anyone's Instagram page, everyone is a model, everyone is a celebrity,
Yeah.
everyone is living, the luxury Dubai bling life, or is
Yeah.
trying to live that life. So, do you not think that A is affecting people's mental health and people's perception of life?
There's a lot of people on social media who look like they're having the best time in the world, and they've recorded it, and it's kind of making people feel like, oh, I'm missing out, or I haven't, I'm not living that life, or you get what I mean. It's more creating these sorts of feelings of like, oh, I'm enjoying myself and you're not, like that sort of thing. And yeah, I think it is impacting people's minds. I feel like it's more like of, trying to create sort of jealousy and like these sorts of feelings between people.
Do you think people have disconnected in real life?
Yeah, so when social media was first came out, I don't know if you had like Facebook first, because I remember getting Facebook when I was in like year 6 or something.
Nah, see, I joined Facebook in like year 9, more like year 9.
Yeah, I
was
remember.
like 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah,
That's the first time I joined Facebook.
I joined it in year 6, so I was like 11, and I said I was 13 too. Big bad boy Samuel saying I'm 13 instead of 11. But how it started off was social media was just a online space to basically share what you're actually doing in real life. Like I remember, it didn't start off like this. It didn't start off with this like people's attention spans are fucked, and like it didn't start off like that. It just started off with people just sharing their lives. Like I remember, like if everyone went away for a summer, everyone in my school had Facebook, but like if someone went off for a summer, it was just about sharing like photos with their family, or like I'm here right now enjoying this. Like I don't know, it wasn't such a malicious thing like where like people were saying, "Oh, you're missing out here. I'm here. Like this is what's going on. I'm enjoying this meal and I'm in this location." Like it wasn't like that. Like it was just about connecting with people when you're not around them in person. But there was still definitely a thing where physical interaction, face-to-face interaction, was still prominent and still the like majority. Like it wasn't like the world we live in now, where everything is on social media. Like, yeah, it would, yeah, it's changed, it's flipped, but I think it's just ended up there. It didn't mean to get it like, yeah, as I said, it didn't mean social media like creators didn't mean for it to end up this way. It started off as something quite innocent, I think, and it's just somehow ended up here because it's the most lucrative thing.
This leads to a good curveball question, and that is, in the past, you'd meet people in real life, and it's easy to meet people in real life. I'm talking about whether it's like approaching a girl, or whether it's even introducing yourself to new friends in real life. Do you think social media has removed people's abilities to actually interact in person? Do you think social media has made it difficult to meet new people, whether that's for relationships or friendship?
Um, yeah, yeah, I do. I think people, especially the generation which like year 7s nowadays, I think they're going to struggle when they go to when they grow up. I think they're not going to have the communication skills that someone maybe like our age or a bit older. I don't think their communication skills are going to be as sharp. I think they're going to have a different sort of paradigm of how to think and express themselves. I don't think I think it's going to be different. Yeah, and I don't think they're going to be as sharp and like have interpersonal skills which are as good as are like people who are older than us, for example. Um I want to ask you something as well.
Go.
I was watching a podcast here. I don't know who do you know who Dan Penner is?
No.
he's some billionaire, some angry American billionaire. People at home, if you Google Dan Penn, you'll understand who this guy is as soon as you see it. But he was saying, because he's old, he's like 78 right now.
Okay.
And he was saying the reason why you're like everyone's so fucking soft now is because when he was at school, they had corporal punishment. So like when he was at school and he misbehaved, he banged someone in the face. Like he didn't get like you shouldn't have done that. Like the teachers nowadays, if you go and if there's a fight, people will break it up and they'll have a conversation with you and be maybe put you in like removal for a day or something. But he was saying like he got fucked up when he was younger. Like when he like misbehaved, he actually got hit, like physically injured. Like or he got the cane or the stick or whatever the fuck they did back then. And he was saying that if anything hardened like individuals back then and now they've grown up and then they have a bit thicker skin and they're not as soft as what you see nowadays. So, what do you think about that? Like, do you think that this is it's a contributing reason to why you see like such overly compassionate people and everyone has sort of just turned into this like mush where like no one's got any backbone anymore?
I think that is a very touchy subject now in 2024 to actually talk about that.
Yeah.
If we look at it from the journalistic point of view, where we're just trying to comment and all opinions are, insert a disclaimer here that prevents us from any court cases and liabilities.
Yeah, we don't.
The aim of this show is not to create controversy, but more to discuss people's opinions and discuss opinion in general.
Yeah, we'll slap a little like disclaimer.
Insert a disclaimer here.
Disclaimer,
because this is what gets people cancelled in this day and age.
We don't really care about that. But...
No, cancellation is not a problem. Being cancelled, I wouldn't say is an issue, but the issue is the inability to actually talk about topics that affect other people. Basically, the decline of society and the ability to actually have an opinion. And it goes down to a very important point. If you tolerate everything, you stand for nothing. And that's basically where we are in society now.
Exactly. That's you hit the nail on the head, bro. Like, everyone has just got no opinion now. Or, like, everyone's... I feel like... Don't get me wrong. I'm not, like, saying people should just be some, like, don't have any compassion at all.
Yeah.
But I think if you take that to the extreme, then... it's like anything goes. You get what I mean? Like,
it's the point where being inclusive for everybody, I'm not against that as an ideology, but there are certain rules that if you aren't following, essentially you're not tolerant to anyone. We've actually created intolerance within society for those who esteem themselves as normal people. And I think it's down to a few things. I'm not sure why, but especially in schools, you would have noticed that even in our time, if we were scolded by our teachers or we had issues, that to an extent, we felt pressure or we felt the need to change as individuals. There were certain moral values to uphold.
Yeah.
Now, A, I don't know if there are any moral values that anyone upholds anyway. And then B, no one is scared or no one cares about what their teacher has to say anymore. Like, that respect level has reduced. There is like very minimal respect.
I do think though that for example, like, especially young boys in school, I feel like they're sort of, I think like everyone's sort of the same now. You get what I mean? Like in schools, it's different now. I don't know. I think people are all taught to act within certain rules, and everyone's just the same. I don't think the boys being like, you get what I mean? Like, sort of like these boisterous, like, kids, they're being told that what they do is wrong, and you get what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm not wording things right here, although I'm not saying it in a way which is
problematic. But...
No, I'm not saying it in a way which makes much sense at all. But
I think the issue I'd say in the UK potentially, I could be wrong, is the decline of the family environment. Where if you compare the United Kingdom to say Europe, there is more of a family background. Like people are tend to live with their families. There's more of a inclusivity.
yeah,
Whereas when you look at the UK in general, we have a lot of single parent families. We have a lot of broken down families, non-nuclear families, and I feel like in some way your family helps to dictate
I think
your morals and ethics.
yeah,
And obviously, given cost of living crisis and climate, both parents are now working. Kids have very little time with their own parents,
yeah,
probably not living with their grandparents, don't get to really have that interaction unless they're at school. And so there's actually just that decline of family environment. There's actually a word for it, and I'm probably not able to think of it right now, but I think that that may be a key issue with the way society is led in the UK, you know?
yeah. I think also there's loads of people, especially our age, who they don't even want to have kids. I don't know. They're not. They're like there's so many people who are our age who aren't inclined on having children, and I find that crazy. Like I remember when I was a bit younger, I actually didn't want kids, but then I when I was in first year, for example, I remember I was like, why would I have kids? Like it's not interesting to me. But now I feel like, bro, what are you doing with your whole life if you don't want to carry on your lineage? And I don't know. There's
I think we
no.
get so caught up in life that we forget the animalistic instincts that humans have,
Yeah.
where, you want to produce a family, you want to care for a family.
Yeah. Me and Raf on Bachar in like, well, we got to make some money first, but like a lot of money. But
At the end of the
soon.
day, that there is, you want to be a parent and you want to have children who will continue your family, your
Yeah.
bloodline, etc.
Yeah. But it's not just that. I think that like a lot of life's beauty is within raising a family. And I think this sort of way of thinking is not as common anymore. I think that like when we were younger, for example, when my brother was in university, for example, I think that it was a lot more common for, the mindset of being, okay, be a, I'm gonna grow up and get like, enough of a cushion to be a provider for a family. I think now people have gone into this. I don't even know what you would really call it. It's just like people aren't interested in that anymore. They want to do whatever they do, like go out and party, go to fucking
See, I don't want to make this episode about relationships, but this does go down to something that I heard the other day, where in today's society, because people are not in very positive, loving relationships. Like I've seen a lot of relationships that aren't working, but essentially every relationship is a setup for divorce or it's a setup for a breakup. Because everyone is now so used to creating a connection with somebody just for it to break off. And you live within that mindset that, oh, something may not work out. And, you never actually let yourself be comfortable or never actually allow yourself to be that forgotten the word, when you break down your emotions and like vulnerable, you're not actually allowing yourself to be in that vulnerable state with somebody else because you're always working on the next one.
yeah.
And I feel like that potentially could have an impact, but let's not make this episode about that.
I think it generally. I think the reason for that, why the relationships generally are disintegrating more now, is because I feel like, in general, by and large, men are becoming less attractive towards women, and maybe the other way
Less
around.
attractive.
Like, yeah, I think men are becoming moving towards a sort of archetype which is generally less attractive to women. I don't know. I feel like this whole ideology that we're all the same and like, you know, we're all equal and, XYZ, this whole mindset that like, I don't know, do you get what I'm trying to say? That like we're all the same and the same principles can be applied to both sexes.
It's interesting because no two men really are the same either.
Yeah.
Nobody really is the same.
Yeah, I get you. I get what you're trying to say, but like, what I'm trying to say is I think in general, both parties are sort of intertwining, and neither party is like comfortable pulling the separate roles to the best of their ability. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I think it's sort of both roles are mixing, and like there's this thing which is going on where like it's moving forward, but no one is really like settled. Do you get what I mean? Kind of. So I think that's the problem, and I think this can all just like if you just try and make yourself as attractive as possible, then you're not gonna have this problem.
Are you talking physically, mentally?
In all like in all like
All of
places.
life's realms.
All of
In
life's
all of life's realms.
all of life's parameters. I feel like if you just upgrade them, then you're gonna have choices, and you're gonna it goes for both sexes. But like yeah, you're not gonna have that sort of problem. But
What are your words of wisdom for those people who are either looking for relationships or
we're
currently in
21.
relationships?
We're 21.
You're a wise man, Samuel, with much life experience, probably more than others.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think if you love someone, then just like be be there and make sure it's someone you want to spend the rest of your life with, and look long term. Think about how if you look at your partner and you love them, but you can't see it going long term, then I don't know what the point of that is. Like you're just it's gonna end anyway. Like, you get what I mean? Like, I think if you're with someone, then you should be with them, and you should look to having a future with them. And by a future, I mean literally a future with them, looking to get married, looking to have a family, looking to do the thing like family, be family orientated. I don't think many people are family orientated anymore. I feel like they're just like, as you say, they're in a relationship, they have at the back of their mind that this could fail, and that's why they're not fully, their heart is not fully in it, and no wonder it comes to an end. Like, it's not very surprising. But what do you think? Like,
I think now, again, with the rise of short form content, with the rise of social media use and all of these things, I think they've all played contributions into that. I think one of the main things is people seeing all these models and, supposed beautiful girls or beautiful men online, and they're setting unrealistic expectations for their own partners. And then there's also that thing where once you're addicted to online, you never really get that gratification in person. I think you know what I'm trying to lead, where I'm leading that down.
yeah,
But I think that's one of the main things. And then also because we've become such a tolerant to everything society that, it's very difficult to now for men and women alike to set actual boundaries and to actually feel comfortable with each other. Being able to actually express an opinion and have an opinion in a relationship is probably a very important thing
yeah,
for both genders. It's not a gender related thing, but to be able to express and have an opinion is something that's very important. People aren't ready to listen, but people don't want to have an opinion. Do you know? It's like you're criticized because you have an opinion, whether you want to, whether you believe in a certain thing or whatever.
yeah,
I'm trying to say this without cancellation terms.
yeah,
And obviously, we've also gone to the other extreme where, there's a rise on toxic femininity, toxic masculinity, feministic bubbles. Like there's a lot of them, There's two extremes
yeah.
now.
There's the feminists, and then there's these
There's the
people,
feminists and then there's
the incels kind of
yeah,
thing. So yeah, and it just isn't helping, is it?
it's not helping
At
at all.
all. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one, but I get what you're saying. I think what are you trying to say, that short form content has got everyone thinking like the grass is greener somewhere else?
Yeah.
Or is that yeah?
That is the kind of thing I'm thinking, but I'm not saying short form content is in the entertainment. I'm talking about, women shaking their ass online for money. I'm talking about, big muscly men. I'm talking about those, stereotypical sexual content. short form.
Yeah.
Well, not short form, but I'm talking more about softcore pornography, where it feels like now, more than ever, everybody is exposed to a higher level of sexualized content. But we're told that we shouldn't see it as sexualized content. That's the best part. That's actually become a norm now.
Yeah.
Like,
So, yeah, the whole. I think it's all moved towards like this whole sexual desire, like, and I think that a lot of people actually lead their identity with their sexual desire, which is just wrong. I don't know, like that's a massive issue. Like if like people leading their whole personality and identity with their sexual desire is one childish, in my opinion. I don't know. It's just there's full grown adults who are older than us, twice our age, who are doing this shit. Like literally leading their whole personality with what they desire sexually. And we're in this sort of time now where it's like not frowned upon. If anything, it's sort of the opposite. Like, or like, you go like fucking wherever the consensus is, where it's just like you're expressing yourself or you get what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say?
listen, remember, nothing is off limits. So
Nothing is off limits.
nothing is off limits.
So how do you like your coffee?
Matcha latte. What's your ops on this? Trend.
Is that green Japanese
Green
shit?
Japanese shit.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's alright.
It's alright. Yeah.
But I think coffee is best black.
Yeah.
Filter.
So I drink insane amounts of coffee. Do you think that's a bad thing? Or like what do you think excess coffee consumption can do to the human body? You're a biomedical scientist.
It's the same question as asking what does excess energy drinks do to the body. At the end of the day, doctors suggest that there's a certain limit of caffeine that you should intake. At the end of the day, it's different for everybody. Coffee, in its natural form, I'd say is probably better than energy drinks because obviously they don't contain extra chemicals, doesn't contain the sugar that, say, energy drinks do.
Yeah.
But it depends really, because there's people who I've seen react really bad to coffee, having a lot of it. I myself probably can't take more than 2 or 3 cups of coffee. But then you've got people like Andrew Tate who shot 15, 16 cups a day. Absolutely fine. Top that with his nicotine addiction. Bismillah, his heart rate is probably 700,000 beats per minute.
I feel like the coffee rises it and the nicotine sort of brings it. Does it increase heart
nicotine is
palpitation?
also a vasoconstrictor, so it makes your heart rate go up.
Okay, yeah, you're the expert, so.
Yeah, I don't know where this part of the conversation fits into this. What I really ideally want to do for future episodes is have a segment where we have like a game show. So essentially, like I'd have some cards, and I'd be like, Samuel Trusler, give me your opinion on XYZ people. Rapid fire round, nothing off limits with Samuel Trusler. One day I'm gonna have the cards with nothing off limits on the back, but this is the first pilot episode, so let's see how it goes. Samuel, what's one millennial habit in which you can beat an 18-year-old?
Sorry, what now?
It's a random question.
What's one millennial habit that you can be an 18-year-old?
Beat an 18-year-old at. So like, you're still a millennial. This doesn't work. Moving on to the next question.
Bro, everything, fam. I'll beat them at everything. An 18-year-old versus me.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can an 18-year-old do that we can't do?
No. What can you do that an 18-year-old can't? That's the question.
Everything.
Everything.
Literally everything, bro.
If you woke up one morning and you found out that you turned into me, what would you do?
I'd stroke my whole beard. I'd stroke everything, bro. I'd just be like, wow. That's what I'd do.
Your message to all the women who don't find you sexy.
You're wrong. You're just wrong. But it's okay, I still love you.
Okay. The one thing women need to know about men. Or the one thing about men that women need to know.
I feel like there's a lot of things that men need to know about men. So
would you like to give us an example?
Maybe on a different
day.
Different day, yeah.
If you were stuck in an elevator with Rihanna, Beyonce, and Kim Kardashian, what would you do?
Enjoy myself. enjoy myself, man. Yeah.
Would you rather find true love and be poor, or remain rich and single?
I'd find true love and be poor, bro. 100%.
Okay. And finally, if you were paid $1 billion, would you pose naked for the page 3 or something? Okay, I don't like that question. Moving on.
Probably not.
Okay. Try and change that question. If there was one mistake you'd made in the past that you could change, what would that be?
Ooh. Probably lots of things, I can't lie. But I think that's the point of life. We'll make mistakes and just feedback and reevaluate. I don't know. But yeah, definitely mistakes within my first relationship, for example. But yeah, loads of mistakes, man. Loads of mistakes.
That's that.
That's that.
And that's that. Samuel, thank you very much for gracing the first episode of this show. And I hope you guys found this as entertaining as we did making this episode. Hopefully there'll be more to come.
Yeah.
And stay tuned every Sunday for Nothing Off Limits. Peace.
It's been good.